Hey, Shalom Akim. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honor to our elders at Great Millstone, and honor to all you brothers doing this work in truth and sincerity. We're brothers out here in the San Francisco Bay Area camp. I'm Yahweh Kalinat.
I'm Banaya, Shalom.
Yeah, so just wanted to go into some edification on America's so-called great founding fathers. Adawan Ratazah going to go through the whole list of the presidents and prove that they were all unequivocally the devil. All right, I'm going to start with George Washington. All right, because George Washington, he's the devil. All right. So, yeah, this guy right here. What did they say about George Washington? He never told a lie. Well, that's a damn lie. All right, that's a lie. All right, this whole existence, America's existence, is a damn lie. All right, meaning the principles that it's supposedly founded on. That's a lie. All right, because George Washington, he knew about the Illuminati. In fact, he was a Mason. All right. So I'm gonna go into some of these documents, and then we're gonna hit some scriptures. Unless do you got something now?
No, I was holding Psalms 58.
Okay, come.
Obadiah 1:18 or 1:10.
Right. So this is a website, nodebts.com. Famous. She always does this. Famous people duped into devil worship masonry. Which George Washington, he wasn't duped. All right. He says all presidents from George Washington, Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, and Kennedy accepted, and possibly Eisenhower. So it just goes to show, all of these people, man, they're so-called Masons. So they were down with the Illuminati. They worship the devil. All right. And so we'll be Adawan Ratazah. We'll be going to this frequently.
Yep. And there's a famous painting of George Washington where he's wearing an apron with the square and compass on it.
Yep, you're gonna get that. All right, this is George Washington, 1732 to 99. Was rather fond of heraldry, as the following quote suggests. It is far from my design to intimate an opinion that heraldry, coat armor, etc., might not be rendered conducive to public and private use with us, or that they can have any tendency unfriendly to the purest spirit of republicanism. On the contrary, a different conclusion is deducible from the practice of Congress and the states, all of which have established some kind of armorial devices to authenticate their official instruments. George, of a patrician beat, it is true, used his arms, agent, 2 bars beneath 3 mullet golds on seals and bookplates. These arms appear on the flag of the District of Columbia. All right, and then we're gonna try to pull up that picture of him. Alright, you see right here. I believe this is in DC. You got a compass. Oh, here's his picture right here. See? Brothers will be able to see. You see, it has a pyramid right here. It has the compass. Yeah, so like Jake says, in the world, he was with the shit. All right. Yep. Here we go. Right here, plane.
That's right.
Yep. All right. So you want to go to Psalms? Bring it out.
Want to start this off?
Go on.
This is the book of Psalms 58 verse 1. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men?
No, and they don't. Or we're going to, through the Spirit bring out some documents. They didn't judge uprightly. All right, the Israelites, they put in slavery, which is us, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Keep going.
Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
Right, and George Washington, he was a violent man. Right? Keep going.
Verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Right, speaking lies. All right, George Washington was a liar. All right. We're just gonna pull up where the origin of that phrase, George Washington never told a lie. Cause hey, man, hey, I heard that growing up. All right, I've actually been to Mount Vernon. That was his estate. Hey, man, hey, Jake lived in some horrible conditions. All right. Let's see what this says. The day George Washington lied, by Danny Wynn. But yeah, that's a damn fable about the cherry tree, everything like that. He's nothing but a liar. Alright. One of the lies is that he was a fair man, he was a just man. Let's read about George Washington and how he had you so-called African Americans, you so-called Negroes, the tribe of Judah, in slavery. Alright? George Washington, the first president of the United States, was a slave owner for practically all of his life. Washington was the only major planner among the 7 founding fathers to emancipate his slaves. His will provided for freeing his slaves upon the death of his widow, Martha Washington, but she emancipated them about 12 months after his death. At various times in his life, Washington privately expressed strong support for gradual abolition of slavery, which that's bullshit. But let's listen to this. Although Washington personally opposed the institution of slavery after the American Revolutionary War, he had no tolerance for slave revolts, and in 1791, as president, he authorized emergency financial and military relief. Satan. I don't know how the hell I get this through. Okay. And military relief to French slave owners in Haiti to suppress a slave rebellion. Right. So when Levi was in an uprising, he sent aid over there. All right, to try to quell it. You know, he also, I believe it was him or another president there appointed that Terry Frederick Douglass to go over to Haiti. He was an ambassador. So all you people talking about Frederick Douglass, this and that. First off, he was an Edomite. He was a puppet. All right, he was a puppet for the elites. He was there to quell dissent. Matter of fact, since I brought that up, just read a little bit on it, not to get too far off topic. Douglas. Yeah, he was appointed minister, president, and consul to the Republic of Haiti in 1889, from 1889 to 1891. Right, because Frederick Douglass, he's about 100 years later. All right, let me go back to this. In 1789, Congress passed and President Washington signed a law that reaffirmed the previous ban on slavery in the Northwest Territory. It did not free slaves already in the territory. The 1790 Naturalization Act provided a means to incorporate foreigners as United States citizens, but was available only to free white persons of good moral character. But wait a second, I thought, well, that's a lie right there, because in the Constitution, in which he was the president during that time, in the Declaration of Independence, all men supposedly are supposed to be created equal.
Right.
You know, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That obviously didn't apply to our people. Washington signed the 1793 Fugitive Slave Law, the first to provide for the right of slaveholders to recapture slaves even in free states that had abolished slavery. You know, and if I'm not mistaken, that man Solomon Northup, I believe they tried to use that justification on him. You know, there's that movie coming out, 12 Years a Slave. But yeah, that's a lie right there, man. So can you get Nahum, the 3rd chapter?
Want me to start at the top?
Yep.
Nahum 3 verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery.
Right, it's all full of lies and robbery. All right, who did they rob? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, referring to George Washington. He was complicit in robbing land from Gad, and then robbing labor from so-called Negroes. All right, the tribe of Judah. Keep going.
The prey departeth not.
Right, the prey departeth not. And who's the prey? The prey, excuse me, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans unto this day. All right, hey, that's why he instituted something called the fugitive slave law, because you're the prey. You would escape, and then who would prey on you? These slave catchers, the so-called white men. All right. Now, I'm gonna get a few of his quotes. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this dirtbag, just bringing out the character of this guy. All right. Now, this is some of his famous quotes. Here it is, 1785. Just proving some more of his lies. We are either a united people or we are not. If the former, let us in all matters of general concern act as a nation, which have national objects to promote and a national character to support. If we are not, let us no longer act a farce by pretending to it. Right? So he admitted that, hey, this whole thing was a fucking farce, man. If we are not a national character, if we're not this and that, let us no longer act a farce. Another word for a farce is a lie. It's a show, man. But I thought he never told a lie. This is in 1786. Your late purchase of an estate in the colony of Cayenne, with a view of emancipating the slaves on it, is a generous and noble proof of your humanity. Would to the Most High, would to God, a like spirit would diffuse itself generally in the minds of the people of this country, but I despair of seeing it. So he pretty much said, nah, well, I wish it would, but then I despair that would actually happen. Why? Because this motherfucker owned over 300 slaves, man. Some petitions were presented to the Assembly at its last session for the abolition of slavery, but they could scarcely obtain a reading. Alright? Which means what, man? Nobody wanted us to be free, man. Like the Elder Tahar just went into emancipate means just to transfer. That's what that was all about.
Yep.
See, so this devil, man, he never wanted us to have any type of freedom. Yeah, so yeah, man, this guy's the devil, man. That's right. Now I'm gonna go back here, and I pulled up some of his dealings with Judah and Gad, some of his so-called policies.
Yep.
He
was George Washington was the first president of the United States Corporation. Because the United States existed before the Revolutionary War anyways, with the 13 colonies under the Articles of Confederation, which they had presidents as well. And presidents is in the scriptures. Daniel was a president.
Yep.
So that term president goes back to ancient times.
Yep.
Right? And then the president, they didn't vote Washington in. He was set up by the elites.
Yep.
So he was a Mason.
Yep.
So he was groomed into being the president.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the only unavoidable subject of regret, George Washington and Slavery, by Peter R. Enriquez. I'm gonna just jump around. George Washington and Slavery is a potentially explosive topic. To some on the right wing of the political spectrum, focusing on the topic indicates the speaker is probably about to make another foray in the effort to denigrate and bring down one of America's great heroes. To some on the left wing of the political spectrum, anything less than a strong denunciation of Washington for owning slaves demonstrates the speaker's moral obtuseness and lack of racial sensitivity. After the war, a Quaker leader, Robert Pleasants, wrote Washington asking him how could he keep a number of people in absolute slavery who were by nature equally entitled to freedom as himself. He added, "Oh, remember, I beseech thee that God will not be mocked." In 1788, a Massachusetts Gazette reported, "He wielded the sword in defense of American liberty, yet at the same was, and is to this day, living upon the labors of several hundreds of miserable Africans." See, so you had Quakers back in the 1700s who was exposing him for being a goddamn hypocrite, man, for being a damn liar, all right? And you couldn't cross this word African out and put Israelites, all right, because we're not Africans. As president, Washington received a letter which read in part, "Ages to come will read with astonishment that the man who was foremost to wrench the rights..." Fucking Satan. To wrench the mites, I think it's going to say from Great Britain, was among the last to relinquish his own oppressive hold of poor, unoffending Negroes. Right, it says unoffending Negroes. Can you go to James, the 5th chapter?
James 5?
Yeah, go to 6.
James 5 and 6. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you.
Right, you have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. They just said unoffending Negroes, right?
Yep.
Oh, and now get Isaiah 33 and 1.
This is Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Right, see, so other Edomites, they even acknowledge that. Poor, unoffending Negroes, all right? You had us in slavery. What did we do to you, man? Keep going.
When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled.
Yep.
And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the time we're coming into right now, because all these nations that you dealt treacherously with, they're coming up against you, and most importantly, pertaining to what we're reading about right now, Jake's about to get in your ass, so to speak, all right? And right here down the street at this university, there's a lot of so-called Negroes. They're robbing you so-called white people on the campus, man. All right, that's a phenomenon, or what do they call that? When they say it's a problem, it's an epidemic. It's a so-called epidemic. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go back.
It's a plague.
Yeah, it's a plague.
It's a Jake being pestilent.
All right. All right. Slavery was an intricate part of George Washington's entire life. It must be remembered that Washington, like other Virginia planters, continued to live with slavery and off of slavery. He became a slave owner at the age of 11 when he inherited about 10 or 11 slaves as a result of his father's untimely death in 1743. By the time of his own death in 1799, there were approximately 316 slaves at Mount Vernon. So he had 316 Jakes in slavery, man. Now there's a I want to get this one account. I believe it's in here. He sold his Jake into to the islands. All right. Well, actually, you know what? I'll read this one. There is an extant letter from Washington, 1766, that leaves a flavor of the nature of the institution and his rather routine acceptance of it. Sir, with this letter comes a Negro of Tom, which I beg the favor of you to sell in any of the islands you may go to. This is the one. For whatever he will fetch. Well, that should bring to mind Django.
Yep.
Sell it cheap.
Yep.
You know, for whatever he will fetch, or whatever money you can get for him, and bring me in return for him one head of best molasses, one of best rum, 1 barrel of limes of good and cheap, and the residue much or little in good old spirits. That this fellow is both a rogue and a runaway, I shall not pretend to deny, but he is exceedingly healthy, strong, and good at the hoe, which gives me reason to hope he may, with your good management, sell well. See, that's all. They use terms like that right now. Management, you know. Can you manage the employees? And you look up
Yeah.
you look up employee in a Black's Law dictionary, man. It means servant, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of our people so concerned about being getting a job, man. You're just a fucking slave, man.
That's right.
You see,
Yep.
all right.
And then when you get a job, it's called involuntary employment.
Yep.
So they can terminate you
At any time.
Pleasure.
Yeah, because like California, it's a right to work state.
Yep.
You know.
So they control your hours and control your pay, and they control if you get terminated or not.
Yep. Well, I believe California's a right to work state. Let me look it up. So I know a lot of these states are right to work states, which pretty much that just undermines the unions, you know. Yeah, California is a yeah, right. California. Oh no, it's not a right to work state. However, there's a lot of states that are. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just be on it. Let me get the list. I know they were fighting to make it a right to work state. Yeah, like the brother's saying, that's how they can fire you at any damn time, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll read a little bit on it. A right to work law is a statute in the United States that prohibits union security agreements or agreements between labor unions and employees that govern the extent to which an established union can require employees' membership, payment of union dues, or fees as a condition of employment. Right, so that means they can continually,
Yep.
yeah, they can continually break the contract with you, make another one, fire you whenever they want.
Yep. And that's why when you fill out your I-9, you have to put all your exemptions on there to the IRS, because that company, whatever company you're working for, they have to report back to the IRS like what type of employee you are.
Yep.
If you're head of household, or you're single, or you got kids, or you're paying child support.
Yep.
They report all that to the damn devil.
Yep.
Because you're just a slave.
Yep. Yeah. So here's some of the states: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, so on and so forth. You know, you brothers see it. All right, but back to this devil. All right, so with your good management, sell well if kept clean and trimmed up a little when offered for sale. See, if kept up and clean and trimmed, that's why you got our people now. You got smooth faces,
Yep.
want to be presentable for the so-called white man. It's the same thing.
So-called grooming.
Grooming, yeah. Look presentable.
Yeah.
You know, to mainstream society. I must beg the favor of you, lest he should attempt his escape, to keep him handcuffed till you get to see. So yeah, because when you're younger, they'll tell you, hey, well look, you know what? He was good to his slave master. And he was good to his slaves, excuse me.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Just don't document that. Hey, and guess what? We're not going to be nice to our slaves. All right.
That's right.
Our Judge George Washington unquestionably assumed that his slaves would be at their work as soon as it was light and work till it was dark. Each bondsman must be made to do a sufficient day's work. George Washington's goal for his bondmen and women was explicit, that every laborer, male and female, does as much in 24 hours as their strength, without endangering their health or constitution, will allow. Or again, it has always been my aim to feed and clothe them well and be careful of them in sickness. In return, I expect such labor as they ought to render. You know, so this is his quotes, man. This is how he felt about us. Get as much as he could out of us in a day. All right. All right. So now let me go to. Oh, actually, it's on this one. We go into Gad. All right. So this is 1,000 Lies to the Native American. All right. George Washington in 1779. George Washington instructed Major General John Sullivan to attack Iroquois people. Washington said, lay waste all the settlements around that the country may not be merely overrun but destroyed. In the course of the carnage and annihilation of Indian people, Washington also instructed his general not to listen to any overture of peace before the total ruin of their settlements is effected. In 1783, Washington's anti-Indian sentiments were apparent in his comparisons of Indians with wolves, both being beasts of prey, though they differ in shape, he said. George Washington's policies of extermination were realized in his troops' behaviors following the defeat. Troops would skin the bodies of Iroquois from the hips downward to make boot tops or leggings. Indians who survived the attacks later were named the nation's first president as town destroyer. Approximately 28 of 30 Seneca towns have been destroyed within a 5-year period. Alright, so yeah, this is, this is George Washington, alright. Have you got any precepts?
Yeah, Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10.
Yep.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Yeah, so this so-called white man, he's going to get cut off forever, alright? And this is, hey, shame shall cover thee. Oh, get that in Habakkuk. Right, because that's supposed to be glorious, your forefathers and everything. You're supposed to rejoice in your forefathers. But you can't, you devils, you can't rejoice in your forefathers. Look at all the wickedness they did. That's why, like it says in Sirach, the 41st chapter, you're trying to complain, alright? Oh, that wasn't me, Well, it took them a while to extend all the constitutional rights to everybody, but it got done. Nah, they wanted to exterminate us, man. If it was in their will, they would have just done away with us.
Yep.
It's by the Heavenly Father's mercies, by Yahweh Shem Shai's mercies, that we are even here today, man. Yeah.
Habakkuk
2:16.
Habakkuk 2:16.
Actually, go to 12 and then jump to 16.
Okay. Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and established a city by iniquity.
That's George Washington, man. The Seneca towns, if I'm not mistaken, that was up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of New York, man, that was established. Well, all of New York. What am I talking about? Yeah. All of New York was established. I said a lot of it. I meant to say a lot of it by George Washington. All right.
Yeah.
Because he was a general. All right.
Yep.
We just read about it, man. It's documented. It's in the history, man. Read verse 16.
Verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory.
Right. Shame's covering you devils, man. Starting with your so-called great forefather. All right, George Washington, that devil who never told a lie, right? Keep going.
Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Right, you're being exposed daily, all right? Keep going.
The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Right, shameful spewing is going to be on your glory, all right? What's your glory? America. But now it's shameful spewing on this bitch, all right? Hey, so with that, all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to our elders at Great Millstone, and honors to all you brothers. Like I said, through the Spirit, we'll go into history on all of these devils. Adawan Ratazah will get another one up tomorrow or on Thursday. All right, just to document the wickedness of you fucking devils. All right, shalom.
Shalom.
That dude is the devil, man. Yeah, I'm gonna praise those. Oh, you can't even put links in the